ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد کور داد باتورانو.
Good evening, everyone. It's Saturday, November 9, 2024. You're watching RTA News with me, Suleiman Talash. Maulavi Abdul Salam Hanafi, the administrative deputy of the Prime Minister, met with a number of scholars and elders from different provinces of the country. In this meeting, they gave information about the social and economic situation of their provinces to Mr. Hanafi and asked the officials of the Islamic Emirate to pay more attention to the development affairs. Maulavi Abdul Salam Hanafi, while welcoming these scholars and elders, said that the related institutions of the Islamic Emirate are always trying to provide services to the people and ensure peace and well-being. Mr. Hanafi said about the topics discussed by them that the Islamic Emirate take necessary decisions for the above cases considering its possibilities. During his official visit to Laghman province, the Minister of Higher Education attended a grand meeting at Laghman University in which, in addition to the leadership delegation, teachers and students of Laghman University, the governor, deputy governor, members of Ulama Council, leaders of the Jihadi Madrasa, and some heads of the provincial administration participated and spoke. Maulavi Nidam Muhammad Nadim guided the students to their responsibilities and told them, "You are responsible for tomorrow. You are very valuable to the government." He told the students that at the time we will have fulfilled our religious responsibilities to make tireless efforts in the Islamic field. Also, Higher Education Minister advised to these teachers to work on healthy training of students, standard teaching methods, scientific research, and unity among students. The Islamic Emirate welcomed the statements of the presidents of Turkey and Uzbekistan regarding Afghanistan at the summit of Turk countries. Hamdullah Fitrat, the deputy spokesman of the Islamic Emirate, says that the Islamic Emirate is committed to positive interaction with the countries of the world and region. The presidents of Turkey and Uzbekistan emphasized their support for Afghanistan at the summit of Turkey countries, saying that they consider the peace and stability of the region to be connected with the stability of Afghanistan. More details in report.
At the 11th summit meeting of Turkish countries in Bishkek, the capital of Kyrgyzstan, the president of Turkey said that the peace and stability of the region is connected with the stability of Afghanistan and emphasized on the support of his country from Afghanistan. We do not consider the stability and peace of the geographical region of our country separate from the developments of Afghanistan. As we have always said, we always stand by our Afghan brothers. In this summit, the president of Uzbekistan emphasized that the issues of Afghanistan should be one of the important issues of the organization of Turk countries to solve the problems of Afghanistan. We believe that, in order to solve the serious and difficult problems of Afghanistan, assistance and cooperation with the current government, extensive participation of the country in regional economic processes, and the implementation of the social and constructional projects should be considered. The Organization of Turk Countries was established on October 3, 2009 with the participation of Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Currently, 8 countries, including 7 Turkish-speaking countries, along with Hungary, are members of this organization. At the same time, the Islamic Emirate welcomes the statements of the presidents of Turkey and Uzbekistan regarding Afghanistan at the summit of these countries. Uzbekistan and other countries that take a realistic position on Afghanistan and international conferences and play a role in restoring Afghanistan's relations with other countries. We also appreciate this move and we want good relations with all countries. Analysts believe that Afghanistan has close Islamic, linguistic, cultural, political and economic relations with the countries of the region, which can be beneficial to Afghanistan in this regard. The fact that it is said in the region that Afghanistan is logically stable, but in addition to taking the steps that are necessary for the stability, it proves to us that These are the considerations of the major interactions that the region dares to take. This is why a number of countries have emphasized a positive interaction with Afghanistan and have always assured the region and the world that no one will be harmed from Afghanistan.
Mullah Abdul Latif Mansoor, Minister of Energy and Water, attended the graduation ceremony of the graduates of the Holy Quran at Dar al-Ulum al-Islamiyya al-Hanafiya in the Dubian village of Zermatt district on the sidelines of his going visit to Paktia province. He discussed and exchanged ideas with the head of the seminary, Maulavi Muhammad Salim Qudrat, on the teaching and administrative affairs of the Dar al-Ulum. During his speech, Mr. Mansoor talked about the virtues of studying and memorizing the Holy Quran and the service and role of religious scholars in the history of Islam, especially in Afghanistan. Mr. Abdul Latif Mansoor also visited the construction process of Al-Fatah Mosque, which is being built with the cooperation of the local people in the orphanage of Khatmul Anbiya in Zermatt district of Paktia province. During his visit to Laghman province, Sheikh Nida Muhammad Nadim, the Minister of Higher Education, commissioned 4 different construction and renovation projects at the University of that province worth nearly 20 million Afghanis. It's worth mentioning that the budget of these projects was paid by the Ministry of Higher Education. In addition to creating a regular environment for students, it will also solve many problems of this university. Sheikh Hamdullah Nomani, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, met with Shadman Haji Bakov, General Director of the Asian section of Aga Khan Foundation. In this meeting, Mr. Nomani welcomed the arrival of the General Director of Emergency Situation of the Aga Khan Foundation in Afghanistan and discussed the work and activities of the Aga Khan Foundation in the different parts of the country, especially with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. The head of Aga Khan Foundation said, if the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development wants, they are ready to build suitable shelters and houses for the victims of natural disasters in Afghanistan. The Ministry of Information and Culture says that Japan will soon host an international conference named Afghanistan Cultural Heritage in Tokyo. According to the ministry's spokesman, the Japanese ambassador met with Maulavi Atiqullah Zizi, the Deputy Minister of Culture and Arts at the Ministry of Information and Culture. Let's see more in the report. The spokesman of the Ministry of Information and Culture said that Maulavi Atiqullah Zizi, Deputy Minister of Culture and Arts of the Ministry of Information and Culture, said in a meeting with the Japanese ambassador that Afghanistan and Japan have close cultural relations and appreciated Japan's cooperation in other sectors while asking for expanding cooperation in the cultural field with Afghanistan.
He stressed that Japan should further expand its role in these areas. During the meeting, the Japanese ambassador, Mr. Kurumiya, mentioned that Japan will provide all-around cooperation and support in these areas.
Japan will hold an international conference in Tokyo in the near future to draw the world's attention to the protection of Afghanistan's cultural heritage, the ministry spokesman said.
Japan is seeking to host an international conference on the protection of Afghanistan's cultural heritage in Tokyo, Japan, and noted that Japan considers cultural issues separate from political issues and continues to cooperate in these areas.
On the other hand, a number of citizens say that the country's cultural, ancient and historical heritage expresses the identity of culture and history of this land and ask the relevant institutions to pay more attention in its preservation.
In order to preserve our antiquities, our elders must decide and protect them. Because the old monuments are the national capital of the country, they must be properly protected. Preservation of ancient monuments has nothing to do with Islamic Emirate or government. It is our faith and conscience that each of us must be committed to protect them.
Officials from the Ministry of Information and Culture have repeatedly said that they are trying to preserve and restore cultural and historical heritage in the country. Mullah Abdul Haq Akhund Hamkar, Deputy Director of Narcotics Control, visited the medical center of drug addicts in Mazar-e Sharif of Balkh province. Mr. Hamkar thanked the officials of Balkh province for the control of drug addiction, for taking good care and treatment of drug addicts, and gave them the necessary recommendations. Also, during his trip to Kunduz province, he visited the special officers of anti-narcotics and read the decree of Amir al-Mu'minin Hafazahullah regarding the elimination of drugs. He also asked them to behave well with the people, tribal leaders and officials. The Department of Statistics and Information of Ghor province has distributed paper and electronic ID cards to 202,000 people in the first 6 months of 1403. It's worth mentioning that in the first 6 months of the current year, the center has collected economic and social figures and information of this province through 161 statistical forums, and besides that, it has monitored the food safety survey and collected the prices of 291 food and non-food items from the market. And that's all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا